I've always been the good twin, the responsible one, the one who followed the rules and met expectations. That's why I'm sitting here in my corner office, staring at spreadsheets while my sister Michelle is probably painting murals on some hipster cafe wall. Don't get me wrong, I love my job at Barnes & Associates. It's just, sometimes I wonder what it would be like to be free like her. My phone buzzes. Speak of the devil. Leah, you better not forget Mom's birthday dinner tonight, Michelle's voice chirps through the speaker. I roll my eyes. As if I could. I'm the one who booked the restaurant. Just checking, Miss Corporate America. Some of us worry your brain might be too full of numbers to remember real life. Ha ha. I'll see you at 7, Picasso. I hang up and sigh, glancing at the clock. 5 more hours of crunching numbers before I can escape to the real world. The thought of tonight's family gathering brings a mix of warmth and anxiety. It's always good to see everyone, but the comparisons between Michelle and me are inevitable. Later that evening, I arrive at the restaurant to find Michelle already there, her blonde hair streaked with paint and a mischievous grin on her face. We may be identical twins, but that's where the similarities end. There's my buttoned-up other half, she exclaims, pulling me into a hug. I can't help but laugh, even as I brush imaginary wrinkles from my tailored blazer. Someone has to keep up appearances, I retort, but there's no real bite to it. As we wait for our parents, Michelle regales me with tales of her latest art project, a series of murals celebrating Raleigh's history. I listen, half envious and half proud of her free spirit. So, any exciting corporate takeovers in your world? She asks, nudging me playfully. I'm about to answer when our parents arrive, saving me from admitting how mundane my life feels in comparison. Hugs are exchanged, and soon we're all settled at the table. Wine flowing freely as we celebrate Mom's 60th. It's during dessert that my phone chimes with an email notification. I usually ignore these during family time, but something makes me glance down. The subject line makes my heart skip a beat. Save the date. Sarah and Jake's wedding. Sarah. My best friend from college. The one who... Earth to Leah. Michelle's voice snaps me back to reality. You look like you've seen a ghost. I force a smile, tucking my phone away. Just work stuff, nothing important. But as the conversation flows around me, my mind is miles away, back in a dorm room, where a drunken kiss with my best friend opened a door I've kept firmly shut ever since. The rest of the evening passes in a blur. I make the right noises, laugh at Dad's jokes, and coo over Mom's birthday gifts. But inside, I'm in turmoil. Sarah's getting married. To a man. And I'm, what? Still hiding behind spreadsheets and expectations? As we leave the restaurant, Michelle links her arm through mine. Spill it, sis. What's really going on in that perfectly coiffed head of yours? I hesitate, then decide to throw caution to the wind. Sarah's getting married. Michelle's eyes widen. Sarah? As in the Sarah you were experimenting with in college? I nod, feeling a blush creep up my neck. That's the one. Gosh, Leah. Are you okay? Am I? I'm not sure. I don't know. It was so long ago, but seeing that invitation, it brought back a lot of feelings I thought I'd buried. Michelle squeezes my arm. Maybe it's time to unbury them, sis. You can't keep living half a life because you're afraid of disappointing people. I know she's right, but the thought terrifies me. I wouldn't even know where to start. A slow smile spreads across Michelle's face. Well, I might have an idea. There's this new gym that opened up near my studio. Why don't you come with me tomorrow? It might help clear your head. Little did I know that agreeing to that simple gym session would change my life forever. The next morning, I find myself standing in front of Pulse Fitness, wondering what the hell I'm doing here. Michelle, of course, is late. Typical. I'm about to text her when a woman's voice catches my attention. First time? I turn to see a stunning brunette with piercing green eyes smiling at me. My heart does a little flip. Is it that obvious? I manage to stammer. She laughs, a warm, inviting sound. Only to the trained eye. I'm Bella, one of the trainers here. And you are? Leah, I reply, shaking her outstretched hand. Her grip is firm, her skin soft. Well, Leah, since your gym buddy seems to be Maya, how about I show you around? I hesitate for a moment, then nod. Sure, why not? As Bella leads me through the gym, explaining the various equipment, I find myself more focused on the way her ponytail swings as she walks than on her words. What is wrong with me? So, what brings you to Pulse? Bella asks as we finish the tour. I'm about to give some vague answer about getting in shape when Michelle's words from last night echo in my mind. Maybe it's time to unbury those feelings. Honestly, I'm trying to clear my head. Got some personal stuff going on. Bella's expression softens. I get that. Exercise can be great for sorting through emotional baggage. Tell you what, why don't we set you up with a personalized program? First session's on the house. Before I know it, I'm agreeing to meet Bella 3 times a week for training sessions. As I leave the gym, my phone buzzes with a text from Michelle. Sorry, sis. Got caught up with a client. How was the gym? I smile to myself. Interesting. Very interesting. Over the next few weeks, my life falls into a new rhythm. Work, gym, sleep, repeat. But those hours with Bella become the highlight of my days. She pushes me harder than I thought possible, and I find myself opening up to her in ways I never have before. One evening, as I'm cooling down after a particularly grueling session, Bella asks, "So, has all this sweating helped clear your head?" I pause, considering. You know what? It has. I feel lighter somehow. She beams at me, and I swear my heart skips a beat. That's what I like to hear. You've come a long way, Leah. As I'm changing in the locker room, I catch sight of myself in the mirror. My body is more toned, sure, but it's my face that surprises me. I look happy, relaxed, like a weight has been lifted. When I get home that night, Michelle is waiting for me, a knowing smirk on her face. Well. Look who's got a spring in her step, she teases. I roll my eyes but can't help smiling. The gym's been good for me, that's all. Uh-huh. And I'm sure it has nothing to do with that hot trainer you've been spending all your time with. I feel my cheeks flush. Bella's just my trainer, Mitch. Sure, and I'm just a casual Sunday painter, she retorts. Come on, sis. I haven't seen you this happy in years. What's really going on? I sink onto the couch, suddenly overwhelmed. I don't know, yes, Bella's amazing. She's smart, funny, beautiful, but it's more than that. Being around her, I feel like I can be myself, the real me. Michelle sits beside me, taking my hand. And who is the real you, Leah? The question hangs in the air, heavy with implication. I think about Sarah's wedding invitation, about the years I've spent hiding behind my career, about the way my heart races every time Bella smiles at me. I think I might be gay, I whisper, the words both terrifying and liberating. Michelle pulls me into a fierce hug. Oh, sweetie, I'm so proud of you. As I cry into my sister's shoulder, feeling truly seen for the first time in years, I realize that this journey I've started is far from over, but with Michelle's support and Bella's unwitting inspiration, I'm finally ready to face who I really am. The next morning, I wake up feeling lighter than I have in years. As I get ready for work, I catch myself actually humming, as I apply my makeup. Is this what it feels like to be true to yourself? My good mood carries me through a day of meetings and conference calls. Even my boss notices, commenting on my infectious energy during our team briefing. If only he knew the real reason behind my newfound enthusiasm. As I pack up to leave the office, my phone buzzes with a text from Bella. Hey superstar, ready to crush it today? My heart does that familiar little flip. I'm about to reply when another message pops up, this one from Sarah. Leah, haven't heard back about the wedding. Everything Reality comes crashing back. Sarah's wedding, my best friend, my first everything. And now I have to face her, with all these new feelings and realizations swirling inside me. I take a deep breath, type a quick, on my way to Bella, and resolve to deal with Sarah's message later. Right now, I have a date with a set of dumbbells and a green-eyed trainer who makes me question everything I thought I knew about myself. Little did I know, those two messages were about to collide in ways I never could have imagined. I arrive at the gym, my mind still buzzing with thoughts of Sarah's wedding and my newfound self-awareness. Bella's waiting for me, her green eyes lighting up as I approach. My stomach does a little flip. There's my favorite client, she grins. Ready to sweat? For the next hour, Bella puts me through my paces. Between sets, we chat about our days, our dreams, our fears. It's during a particularly grueling plank that she drops a bombshell. So, I went to Raleigh High too, Bella mentions casually. I nearly faceplant on the mat. What? When? Class of '03. You? My mind races. 2003. That was my year. How had I never noticed her before? Same. I managed to gasp out. How did we never meet? Bella shrugs, helping me up. Big school, I guess? Plus, I was kind of a loner back then. Spent most of my time in the art room. The art room. Suddenly, a memory hits me like a freight train. A shy brunette in paint-splattered overalls, always hunched over a sketchbook. The girl I'd admired from afar, but never had the courage to talk to. Oh my gosh, I breathe. You're that Bella. Her eyebrows shoot up. You remember me? I nod, feeling a blush creep up my neck. I always thought you were really cool, with your art and everything. Now it's Bella's turn to blush. Wow, I had no idea anyone even noticed me back then. The rest of the session passes in a blur of shared memories and newfound connections. As I'm leaving, Bella catches my arm. Hey, would you maybe want to grab coffee sometime? You know, outside of the gym? My heart races. I'd love that. Later that evening, I'm recounting the whole thing to Michelle over a bottle of wine. Holy shit, sis, she exclaims. Your high school crush is your hot personal trainer? This is like lesbian rom-com gold. I throw a pillow at her, laughing. It's not like that. We're just reconnecting. Michelle gives me a knowing look. Uh-huh. And I'm just casually considering a career in accounting. I'm about to retort when my phone buzzes. It's Sarah. Leah, seriously, what's going on? You haven't RSVP'd, you're not answering my calls. Talk to me. Guilt washes over me. I've been so caught up in my own journey that I've been neglecting my best friend. I should call her, I mumble. Michelle nods, suddenly serious. You should. And Leah? Maybe it's time to be honest with her too. I take a deep breath and dial Sarah's number. She picks up on the first ring. Finally. I was starting to think you'd fallen off the face of the earth. I'm so sorry, Sarah. I've just been going through some stuff. There's a pause. What kind of stuff? Leah, you know you can tell me anything, right? And suddenly the words are tumbling out. I tell her about the gym, about Bella, about the realizations I've been having. By the time I finish, I'm in tears. Oh, Leah, Sarah says softly. I had no idea you were struggling with this. I'm so proud of you for being honest with yourself and with me. Relief washes over me. So you're not weirded out? Sarah laughs. Honey, after what we got up to in college, trust me, I'm the last person who'd judge you for this. We talk for hours like we used to in our dorm room. By the time we hang up, I feel lighter than I have in years. The next morning, I wake up to a text from Bella. Can't stop thinking about our conversation yesterday. Coffee this weekend? I smile, typing back a quick, absolutely. As I get ready for work, I catch sight of myself in the mirror. For the first time in years, I truly see myself, not the persona I've been projecting, but the real Leah. The Leah who's finally brave enough to go after what she wants. At the office, I throw myself into my work with renewed energy. My colleagues notice the change, commenting on my glow, and asking if I've done something different with my hair. If only they knew. By the time Friday rolls around, I'm a bundle of nerves. Michelle helps me pick out an outfit for my coffee date with Bella, teasing me mercilessly the whole time. Just remember, she says as I'm heading out the door, be yourself. That's who she wants to get to know. The coffee shop is busy when I arrive, but I spot Bella immediately. She's wearing a soft green sweater that brings out her eyes, and my breath catches in my throat. Hey you, she smiles as I sit down. Hey yourself, I manage to reply. For the next 2 hours, we talk about everything and nothing. Our shared high school memories, our career paths, our families. I find myself opening up in ways I never have before, not even with Sarah. As the sun starts to set, casting a warm glow through the cafe windows, Bella reaches across the table and takes my hand. I'm really glad we reconnected, Leah, she says softly. I look down our intertwined fingers, then back up at her face. The warmth in her eyes makes my heart skip a beat. Me too, I whisper. And then, before I can overthink it, I lean in and kiss her. It's soft, tentative, but filled with promise. When we pull apart, Bella's beaming. I've been wanting to do that since high school, she admits. I laugh, feeling giddy and terrified and exhilarated all at once. Better late than never, right? As we leave the cafe, hand in hand, I realize that this is just the beginning of a whole new chapter in my life. And for once, I can't wait to see what happens next. The weeks leading up to Sarah's wedding fly by in a whirlwind of stolen kisses with Bella and late-night heart-to-hearts with Michelle. I feel like I'm walking on air, finally living my truth after years of hiding. But as the big day approaches, anxiety starts to creep in. I haven't told my parents about Bella yet, and the thought of facing our entire extended family at the wedding makes my stomach churn. You don't have to come out to everyone at once, Michelle reassures me as we drive to the wedding venue for the rehearsal dinner. Baby steps, remember? I nod, grateful for her support. I know. It's just... seeing Sarah marry a man, it's bringing up all these old feelings and insecurities. Michelle squeezes my hand. Hey, your journey is your own. Sarah's happiness doesn't diminish yours. We pull up to the venue, a picturesque vineyard just outside Raleigh. As we step out of the car, I spot Sarah waving frantically from the entrance. Leah, Michelle, you made it. She pulls us both into a group hug. Wouldn't miss it for the world, I say, forcing a smile. As Sarah leads us inside, chattering about last-minute details, I can't help but marvel at how different our lives have turned out. Here she is, about to marry her college sweetheart, while I'm just starting to figure out who I really am. The rehearsal dinner is a blur of introductions and small talk. I'm so focused on not letting anything slip about Bella that I barely taste the gourmet meal in front of me. It's during the dessert course that Sarah drops a bombshell. Oh, Leah, I forgot to tell you. You'll never guess who RSVP'd at the last minute, she says, eyes twinkling. My heart rate picks up. Who? Bella Cook. Remember her from high school? Apparently she's some hotshot personal trainer now. Small world, huh? I nearly choke on my creme brulee. Bella's coming to the wedding? Sarah nods, oblivious to my panic. Yeah, we reconnected on Facebook a while back. Isn't it great? It'll be like a mini high school reunion. I manage to mumble something affirmative, but inside I'm reeling. Bella never mentioned knowing Sarah, let alone being invited to the wedding. What if she says something? What if... Earth to Leah. Michelle's voice cuts through my spiraling thoughts. You okay? I nod, forcing a smile. Yeah, just surprised, that's all. The rest of the evening passes in a haze. As soon as we're back in the car, I pull out my phone and text Bella. Why didn't you tell me you were coming to Sarah's wedding? Her reply comes almost instantly. Surprise? I wanted to see your face when you saw me all dressed up. I can't help but smile, despite my anxiety. You're incorrigible. We need to talk before the ceremony tomorrow. Your wish is my command. Meet me by the vineyard at 9 a.m.? I agree, then turn to Michelle, who's watching me with a raised eyebrow. So, tomorrow's going to be interesting, I sigh. She laughs. Oh, sis, you have no idea. The next morning dawns bright and clear. I'm up at the crack of dawn, my stomach in knots. Michelle helps me into my bridesmaid's dress, a flowing lavender number that Sarah picked out. You look beautiful, she says, squeezing my shoulders. Now go get your girl. I make my way down to the vineyard, the dew-damp grass soaking the hem of my dress. And then I see her. Bella's standing among the vines, the rising sun casting a golden glow on her skin. She's wearing a tailored green suit that matches her eyes perfectly, and for a moment, I forget how to breathe. Wow, I manage to say as I approach. You clean up nice. She grins, pulling me close. You're not so bad yourself, Barnes. We stand there for a moment, just holding each other. Then reality crashes back in. Bella, what are we going to do? Sarah doesn't know about us, my family doesn't know I'm gay, and... She silences me with a soft kiss. Hey, breathe. We'll figure it out together, okay? No pressure, no expectations. Today is about Sarah and Jake. We're just two old friends catching up at a wedding. I nod, feeling some of the tension leave my body. You're right, thank you. As we walk back to the venue, hand in hand, I spot Sarah peeking out from behind a curtain. Her eyes widen as she sees us, and I know we've been caught. Shit, I mutter. Bella squeezes my hand, It's okay, you've got this. Sarah meets us at the door, her expression unreadable. Leah, can I talk to you for a sec? I nod, shooting an apologetic glance at Bella as Sarah pulls me into a nearby room. Okay, spill, she demands as soon as the door closes. What's going on with you and Bella? I take a deep breath. It's now or never. Sarah, I'm gay. Bella and I are together. There's a moment of silence, and then Sarah bursts out laughing. Oh my gosh, Leah, I knew it. I mean, I didn't know, but I had a feeling, you know? Relief washes over me. You're not mad? She pulls me into a hug. Mad? Honey, I'm thrilled for you. Although I am a little hurt you didn't tell me sooner. I hug her back, tears pricking at my eyes. I'm sorry, I was just figuring things out. Sarah pulls back, wiping a tear from my cheek. Well, consider them figured. Now, let's get me married, shall we? The ceremony is beautiful. As I stand beside Sarah, watching her pledge her love to Jake, I can't help but sneak glances at Bella in the audience. She catches my eye and winks, sending a thrill through my body. At the reception, Bella and I dance and laugh, not caring who sees. My parents raise their eyebrows, but Michelle runs interference, keeping them distracted with tales of her latest art project. As the night winds down, Bella pulls me onto the balcony overlooking the vineyard. The stars are out, twinkling above us like 1,000 tiny promises. So how does it feel? She asks, wrapping her arms around my waist. What? I lean back into her embrace. Being out. Being you. I turn in her arms, looking into those green eyes that have captivated me since high school. It feels like coming home, I whisper, and pull her in for a kiss. The morning after Sarah's wedding, I wake up with a pounding headache and a heart full of conflicting emotions. Last night feels like a dream, dancing with Bella, laughing with Sarah, feeling truly myself for the first time in years. But as the reality of my new situation sinks in, anxiety begins to creep back in. My phone buzzes with a text from Michelle, family brunch in an hour. You ready for this? I groan, burying my face in the pillow. The thought of facing our parents after last night's revelations makes my stomach churn. But I know I can't hide forever. As I'll ever be, I text back. An hour later, I'm sitting across from my parents at a quaint cafe near the vineyard. Michelle's beside me, her presence a silent source of strength. Mom's peering at me over her mimosa, a mixture of concern and curiosity in her eyes. So, Leah, she begins, her voice carefully neutral. Is there something you'd like to tell us? I take a deep breath, steeling myself. Mom, Dad, I'm gay. The words hang in the air for a moment. Dad's fork clatters against his plate. Mom takes a long sip of her drink. And that woman at the wedding, Bella, she's your? Dad trails off, looking uncomfortable. Girlfriend, I finish for him. Yes. Another silence falls over the table. I feel Michelle's hand squeeze my knee under the tablecloth. Finally, Mom speaks up. Well, I can't say I'm not surprised, but Leah, honey, we love you no matter what. Right, Harold? Dad nods, though he still looks a bit shell-shocked. Of course, we need some time to process this. It's not the enthusiastic acceptance I'd hoped for, but it's not outright rejection either. I'll take it. As we finish our meal, the conversation turns to safer topics. Michelle's latest art show, Dad's golf game. But I can feel the weight of unasked questions hanging over us. Later that afternoon, I meet Bella at a park near my apartment. She's sitting on a bench, sketching in a small notebook. The sight of her, brow furrowed in concentration, hair falling across her face, makes my heart skip a beat. Hey you, I say, sitting down beside her. She looks up, a smile lighting up her face. Hey yourself. How'd it go with the parents? I sigh, leaning into her. About as well as could be expected, I guess. They didn't disown me, so that's something. Bella wraps an arm around me, pulling me close. Give them time, it's a lot to take in. We sit there for a while, watching families play frisbee and couples stroll hand in hand. It feels surreal to be one of those couples now, out in the open. So, Bella says eventually, what happens now? I turn to look at her, taking in those green eyes that have become my anchor in this storm of change. Now, we live our lives, together. She grins, leaning in to kiss me softly. I like the sound of that. The next few weeks are a whirlwind of adjustments and revelations. At work, I decide to come out to my boss and close colleagues. To my surprise, most of them are supportive, though I do catch a few whispers by the water cooler. Bella and I fall into a comfortable routine. Gym sessions turn into dinner dates, movie nights, lazy Sunday mornings. It's everything I never knew I wanted. But not everything is smooth sailing. One evening, as we're cooking dinner together in my apartment, Bella brings up a touchy subject. "So, I ran into your mom at the grocery store today," she says casually, chopping vegetables. I nearly drop the pan I'm holding. "What? What happened?" Bella shrugs, but I can see the tension in her shoulders. It was awkward. She was polite, but I could tell she was uncomfortable. I sigh, setting down the pan and moving to wrap my arms around her waist. "I'm sorry. They're trying, but it's a process." She leans back into me, her voice soft. "I know. It's just, I want them to see how happy we are. How right this is." I turn her around, cupping her face in my hands. "Hey, look at me. We are happy. We are right. And they'll see that eventually. Okay?" She nods, a small smile playing on her lips. "Okay." Later that night, as we're curled up on the couch watching a movie, my phone rings. It's Michelle. "Leah," she says, her voice tight with excitement. "You're not going to believe this. I just got off the phone with Mom." My heart rate picks up. "And?" "She wants to have dinner. With you and Bella." I sit up straight, startling Bella. "What? When?" "This weekend. She says she wants to get to know Bella properly." As I hang up, Bella's looking at me with a mixture of hope and apprehension. What was that about? I take a deep breath, then tell her about my mom's invitation. To my surprise, Bella's face lights up. "Leah, this is great. It's a chance for them to see us together, to understand what we have." Her enthusiasm is infectious, and I find myself nodding along. "You're right. This could be really good." The rest of the week passes in a blur of anticipation and nervous energy. By the time Saturday rolls around, I'm a bundle of nerves. Bella, on the other hand, is the picture of calm as we drive to my parents' house. "It's going to be fine," she reassures me, squeezing my hand. As we pull into the driveway, I take a deep breath. This is it, the moment of truth. Mom opens the door before we even have a chance to knock. Her smile is tentative but genuine. "Leah, Bella," she says, pulling us both into a slightly awkward hug. Come in, dinner's almost ready." As we step inside, I catch sight of my dad in the living room. He stands up, clearing his throat. "Bella," he says, extending his hand. "It's good to see you again, under better circumstances." Bella shakes his hand, her smile warm. "Thank you for having me, Mr. Barnes." As we all move to the dining room, I feel a weight lifting off my shoulders. It's not perfect, not yet, but it's a start. And as I watch Bella charm my parents over Mom's famous pot roast, I realize that all of this, is exactly where I'm meant to be. The morning of Sarah's wedding dawns bright and clear, a perfect June day. I'm up before the alarm, my stomach a knot of excitement and nerves. Today's the day I stand beside my best friend as she marries the love of her life. It's also the day I'll be seeing Bella in public for the first time since we came out at the rehearsal dinner. Michelle barges into my room, already dressed in her bridesmaid gown. "Rise and shine, sis, it's showtime." I groan, pulling the covers over my head. 5 more minutes? She yanks the blanket away, grinning. "No way. We've got a bride to beautify and a girlfriend to impress." Up and at 'em. An hour later, we're at Sarah's parents' house, surrounded by a whirlwind of hairspray, makeup, and champagne. Sarah's a vision in white, but I can see the panic in her eyes as she fidgets with her veil. What if I trip? What if Jake changes his mind? What if... I grab her hands, forcing her to meet my gaze. "Hey, breathe. Jake loves you. You love him. Everything else is just details." She takes a shaky breath, nodding. "You're right. Gosh, when did you get so wise?" I think of Bella, of the journey we've been on. Let's just say, I've learned a few things about love lately. Sarah's eyes soften. "I'm so happy for you, Leah. You and Bella. You're good together." Before I can respond, the wedding planner pokes her head in. "It's time, ladies." The ceremony is a blur of flowers, music, and tears. Mostly happy, though I catch Sarah's grandmother dabbing her eyes disapprovingly when Jake stumbles over his vows. Through it all, I'm hyper-aware of Bella sitting in the third row, looking stunning in a deep green dress that makes her eyes pop. As we process out of the church, Bella catches my eye and winks. My heart does a little flip, and I nearly trip over my own feet. Michelle snickers beside me. Smooth, sis, real smooth. The reception is in full swing by the time we finish taking photos. I'm scanning the crowd for Bella when I feel a tap on my shoulder. I turn to find Jake's cousin Tom, grinning at me. "Hey Leah, long time no see, save a dance for me?" Before I can respond, I feel an arm slip around my waist. Bella's there, smiling sweetly but with a glint in her eye. "Sorry, Tom. This one's spoken for." Tom's eyes widen as he looks between us. Oh, I didn't realize. Congratulations." As he scurries away, I turn to Bella with a raised eyebrow. "Jealous much?" She laughs, pulling me closer. "Can you blame me? You look incredible in that dress." We make our way to the dance floor, swaying together to a slow ballad. It feels so right being here in Bella's arms that for a moment I forget we're in a room full of people. "Penny, for your thoughts?" Bella murmurs. I smile, resting my head on her shoulder. Just thinking how lucky I am. The moment is broken by the clinking of glasses. Sarah and Jake are at the center of the dance floor, ready for their first dance as a married couple. As I watch them twirl and laugh, I feel a pang of something. Not quite envy, but a longing for what they have. Bella must sense my mood shift. She squeezes my hand. "You okay?" I nod, forcing a smile. "Yeah, just thinking about the future, I guess." She opens her mouth to respond, but we're interrupted by Michelle, dragging us towards the bar. "Come on, lovebirds, it's time for the bouquet toss." I groan, but allow myself to be pulled along. "Mitch, you know that's just a silly tradition, right?" She winks at Bella. "Maybe, but wouldn't it be fun if you caught it?" Before I can protest further, we're in the midst of a crowd of single women. Sarah turns her back, bouquet in hand, and I find myself jostled forward by Michelle's enthusiastic push. The bouquet arcs through the air, and without thinking, I reach up. To my surprise and Michelle's delight, I actually catch it. There's a moment of stunned silence, then cheers erupt around me. I turn to find Bella staring at me, an unreadable expression on her face. "Well," she says, her voice barely audible over the crowd. "That's interesting." The rest of the reception passes in a whirlwind of dancing, toasts, and cake. By the time Sarah and Jake drive off in their just-married bedecked car, my feet are aching and my head is spinning from too much champagne. Bella and I stumble out to the parking lot, laughing as we try to remember where we parked. "Some detective you are," I tease as we wander down yet another row of cars. She sticks her tongue out at me. "Hey, I'm off duty. Cut me some slack." We finally locate her car, but instead of getting in, Bella leans against the door, pulling me close. "So," she says, her voice low, "you caught the bouquet." I feel my cheeks flush. It doesn't mean anything, it's just a silly tradition. She studies my face for a long moment. But what if it did mean something? What if? My heart races as I realize what she's asking. "Bella, are you?" She takes a deep breath. "I'm not proposing, not yet. But I want you to know that I'm in this for the long haul. You and me, we're endgame. Okay?" Tears prick at my eyes as I nod. "Okay." She kisses me then, soft and sweet and full of promise. When we finally break apart, I'm grinning like an idiot. "Come on," I say, tugging her towards the passenger side. "Let's go home." As we drive away from the twinkling lights of the reception, Bella's hand in mine, I feel a sense of peace settle over me. Whatever the future holds, whatever challenges we might face, I know we'll face them together. And really, that's all that matters. The weeks following Sarah's wedding fly by in a whirlwind of work, family dinners, and stolen moments with Bella. It's a balancing act, juggling my newfound happiness with the expectations of those around me. But for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm truly living, not just existing. One lazy Sunday morning, as Bella and I are curled up on my couch, she drops a bombshell. "So, I've been thinking," she begins, tracing patterns on my arm. "Maybe it's time we told my family about us." I sit up, my heart racing. "Your family? I thought they already knew you were gay." Bella nods, biting her lip. "They do, but they don't know about you, about us." The weight of her words hits me. Meeting Bella's family feels like crossing a threshold, making this relationship even more real than it already is. Okay, I say, taking a deep breath. When? Bella's face lights up. Really? You're up for it? I lean in, kissing her softly. Of course. You met my crazy family. It's only fair I meet yours. The next weekend finds us driving to Bella's parents' house in the suburbs. As we pull into the driveway of a cozy-looking bungalow, I feel my nerves kicking into overdrive. Bella squeezes my hand. Relax, they're going to love you. Her mom, Sandra, opens the door before we even reach the porch. She's a whirlwind of energy, pulling Bella into a tight hug before turning her attention to me. And you must be Leah. Oh, honey, we've heard so much about you. Before I know it, I'm engulfed in a warm embrace that smells of cinnamon and home. Bella's dad, Tom, is more reserved but no less welcoming. He shakes my hand firmly, his eyes twinkling with the same mischief I often see in Bella's. So, you're the one who's stolen our little girl's heart, he says, his voice gruff but kind. Dinner is a lively affair, filled with laughter and stories. I learn about Bella's childhood mishaps, her first art show in high school, her coming-out journey. It strikes me how different this is from my own family dinners, which are often stilted and formal. As Sandra serves dessert, a homemade apple pie that makes my mouth water, she fixes me with a serious look. Now, Leah, I hope you know what you're getting into with our Bella. She may seem all cool and collected, but let me tell you, she's a handful. Bella groans. Mom, please. I laugh, feeling more relaxed than I have all evening. Oh, believe me, I know. But I wouldn't have her any other way. The warmth in Bella's eyes as she looks at me makes my heart skip a beat. After dinner, as Bella helps her mom with the dishes, Tom pulls me aside. Listen, Leah, he says, his voice low. I've never seen my daughter as happy as she is with you. Whatever you're doing, keep it up. I swallow hard, touched by his words. I will, sir, I promise. The drive home is quiet, both of us lost in thought. As we pull up to my apartment, Bella turns to me. So, what did you think? I smile, leaning in to kiss her. I think I'm falling in love with your family almost as much as I'm falling in love with you. The words slip out before I can stop them, and for a moment I freeze. We haven't said those words yet, not explicitly. But Bella's face breaks into a radiant smile. I love you too, Leah Barnes, more than I ever thought possible. The next morning, I wake up feeling like I'm walking on air. As I get ready for work, humming to myself, Michelle barges in without knocking. Okay, Spill, she demands, flopping onto my bed. What's got you so chipper? I can't help the grin that spreads across my face. Bella told me she loves me last night. Michelle squeals, pulling me into a hug. Oh my gosh, sis, that's huge! As we chat about the details, I realize how far I've come. Just a few months ago, I was hiding a huge part of myself. Now I'm out, in love, and happier than I've ever been. But life, as always, has a way of throwing curveballs. Later that week, I'm at work when I get a call from my mom. Her voice is tight with anxiety. Leah, honey, I need you to come home. Your father, he's had a heart attack. The world seems to tilt on its axis. I mumble something about leaving right away and hang up, my hands shaking. Bella finds me an hour later, curled up in a ball on my office floor. She doesn't say anything, just pulls me into her arms and holds me as I cry. The next few days are a blur of hospital visits, worried conversations, and sleepless nights. Through it all, Bella is my rock, handling everything from dealing with insurance companies to making sure I remember to eat. It's during one of these late-night hospital vigils that I realize something profound. As I watch Bella chatting easily with my mom, bringing a smile to her tired face, it hits me. This is what family looks like. This is what love looks like. When Dad finally wakes up, groggy but stable, the first thing he sees is Bella and me, hands intertwined as we doze in the uncomfortable hospital chairs. Well, he croaks, his voice weak but amused. I guess it took a heart attack for me to see what was right in front of me all along. Mom looks confused, but I know exactly what he means. As I meet his eyes, I see acceptance, understanding, and love. Later, as Bella and I are grabbing coffee in the hospital cafeteria, she turns to me with a serious expression. Move in with me, she blurts out. I blink, caught off guard. What? She takes my hands in hers. Move in with me. Life's too short to waste time, Leah. I want to wake up next to you every morning, face whatever comes our way together. What do you say? As I look into her eyes, I see our future stretching out before us. The good, the bad, and everything in between. And I know with absolute certainty what my answer is. Yes, I say, feeling a smile spread across my face. 1,000 times yes. 1 year later, I'm standing in front of a full-length mirror, barely recognizing the woman staring back at me. My blonde hair is swept up in an elegant updo, and I'm wearing a sleek white pantsuit that Michelle helped me pick out. Today's the day Bella and I move in together, and we've decided to throw a housewarming party to celebrate. You ready for this? Michelle asks, appearing behind me in the reflection. I take a deep breath, nodding. As I'll ever be. The past year has been a whirlwind of changes. Dad's recovery was slow but steady, and his brush with mortality seemed to soften his stance on my relationship with Bella. Mom, too, has come around, even going so far as to invite us over for weekly family dinners. As for Bella and me, we've had our ups and downs. Moving in together was a big step, and there were moments when I wondered if we were rushing things. But every time I doubted, Bella was there with her unwavering support and love, reminding me why I fell for her in the first place. The doorbell rings, snapping me out of my reverie. That'll be the first guests, Michelle says, giving my shoulder a squeeze. You've got this, sis. The next few hours pass in a blur of introductions, congratulations, and champagne toasts. Our new apartment is filled with a mix of family, friends, and colleagues. I catch glimpses of Bella throughout the evening, looking radiant in a green dress that brings out her eyes. Every time our gazes meet across the room, my heart skips a beat. As the party winds down, I find myself on the balcony, taking a moment to breathe in the cool night air. The city lights twinkle below, a sea of possibilities stretching out before me. Penny, for your thoughts? Bella's voice comes from behind me, and I turn to see her holding out a glass of champagne. I take it gratefully, leaning into her as she wraps an arm around my waist. Just thinking about how far we've come. She nods, her eyes scanning the horizon. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? We stand in comfortable silence for a moment, sipping our champagne. Then Bella clears her throat, suddenly looking nervous. Actually, I have something I want to ask you, she says, setting down her glass. My heart rate picks up as she reaches into her pocket. Bella, what? But before she can say anything else, we're interrupted by a commotion from inside. We rush back into the living room to find my dad clutching his chest, face pale. Not again, I whisper, fear gripping my heart. The next few hours are a chaotic blur of ambulance sirens, hospital waiting rooms, and anxious family members. It's déjà vu in the worst way possible, and I find myself gripping Bella's hand like a lifeline. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, a doctor emerges with news. To everyone's shock and relief, it wasn't a heart attack at all. Apparently, Dad had a severe allergic reaction to something he ate at the party. As we all breathe a collective sigh of relief, I catch my mom looking at Bella and me with an odd expression. You know, she says slowly, I don't think I've ever properly thanked you, Bella, for everything you've done for our family. Bella looks surprised. Oh, Mrs. Barnes, you don't have to. But Mom holds up a hand, silencing her. No, I do. You've been there for Leah, for all of us, through thick and thin. And I'm sorry it took me so long to see how good you are together. Tears prick at my eyes as Mom pulls Bella into a tight hug. It's a moment I never thought I'd see, and it feels like the final piece of a puzzle falling into place. Later, as we're driving home in the early hours of the morning, exhausted but relieved, Bella turns to me with a mischievous glint in her eye. So, about that thing I wanted to ask you earlier. I laugh, the tension of the night finally breaking. Bella Cook, are you trying to propose to me after we just spent hours in a hospital? She grins, reaching into her pocket and pulling out a small velvet box. Well, I figured if we can handle family medical emergencies together, we can handle anything. So, what do you say? Want to make it official? As I look at the simple, elegant ring nestled in the box, I'm struck by how right this feels. Despite the chaos, despite the unconventional timing, this is exactly where I'm meant to be. Yes, I say, feeling a smile spread across my face. 1,000 times yes. We seal the deal with a kiss at a red light, laughing as cars behind us honk impatiently. It's not the romantic proposal either of us had imagined, but somehow, it's perfect. The next morning, as we're curled up in bed, still basking in the glow of our engagement, my phone buzzes with a text from Michelle. So, when's the wedding? And more importantly, can I design your dresses? I show the message to Bella, who laughs. Your sister doesn't waste any time, does she? I shake my head, feeling a surge of love for my family, both the one I was born into and the one I've chosen. Nope. But then again, neither do we. As we start to discuss potential wedding dates and venues, I'm struck by how different my life is from what I had imagined a year ago. Back then, I was hiding a huge part of myself, going through the motions of a life I thought I was supposed to want. Now, I'm out, proud, and engaged to the love of my life. My family has come around in ways I never thought possible, and for the first time, I'm truly excited about the future. Hey, Bella says, interrupting my thoughts. Where'd you go just now? I smile, pulling her close. Just thinking about how lucky I am, how lucky we are. She kisses me softly, her green eyes sparkling. Well, get used to it, Barnes. Because this is just the beginning. And as I look at her, my fiancé, my partner, my best friend, I know she's right. This isn't an ending at all. It's the start of a whole new adventure. And I can't wait to see where it takes us.